They told us it would last 5 years, maybe 10 if we were lucky. A fragile machine built with 1970s technology sent into the most hostile environment imaginable with nothing but hope and physics to guide it. Voyager 2 wasn't supposed to survive this long. It wasn't supposed to reach interstellar space. It wasn't supposed to keep transmitting after crossing into regions where the sun's voice fades to nothing and the galaxy begins. But it did. For nearly 50 years, it endured. And now, in what may be its final transmission, it has sent back something that confirms the one fear we've carried since we first looked up at the stars and wondered if we were truly alone. We're not. And whatever's out there has been watching us far longer than we ever imagined. The transmission came through on a Tuesday, routine at first. The usual telemetry data, power levels, system diagnostics, the kind of mundane information that's been streaming back from Voyager for decades. But buried in that routine feed was something else, something the engineers at NASA's Deep Space Network almost missed. A distortion, not the kind caused by distance or interference, not the degradation you'd expect from a machine held together by failing components and sheer momentum. This was different. This was structure, pattern, and when they isolated it, when they pulled it out from the noise and really looked at what Voyager was sending, the room went cold because Voyager 2 had detected movement, not the random drift of particles, not the slow dance of cosmic debris, movement with intent. Something out there, 500,000 kilometers from the probe, was tracking it, matching its velocity, adjusting its course to stay within range, and it had been doing this for weeks, maybe months. The data timestamps suggested the anomaly began shortly after Voyager crossed deeper into interstellar space, into regions we've never explored, regions where our models break down and our assumptions about what's possible stop making sense. At first, they tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a rogue asteroid, maybe a fragment of ice from the Oort cloud, caught in some gravitational eddy that coincidentally mirrored Voyager's path. But the numbers didn't support that. Asteroids don't adjust speed. Ice doesn't alter trajectory in response to another object's movements. This thing, whatever it was, wasn't drifting. It was following. And the way it moved, the precision of its adjustments, suggested something far more unsettling. It knew Voyager was there, it was aware, and it was studying the probe the same way we study specimens under a microscope. NASA scientists pulled in outside experts, astrophysicists, military analysts, people who specialize in tracking objects that don't want to be found, and they all came to the same conclusion. The object's behavior was reactive. It only moved when Voyager moved. It maintained a fixed distance, never getting closer, never falling behind, like a shadow, like a sentinel. And when Voyager transmitted its regular data bursts back to Earth, the object responded. Not with transmissions of its own, but with motion, subtle shifts in position, course corrections that aligned with the timing of Voyager's signals, as if it was listening, as if it understood. But the movement was only part of the transmission, because embedded in the telemetry, piggybacked onto the data stream in a way that shouldn't be possible, was something Voyager wasn't designed to send. A signal, not from the probe's systems, not from any component NASA installed back in 1977. This signal came from outside, from the object itself, and it had somehow merged with Voyager's transmission, using the probe as a relay, as a bridge between whatever's out there and us. When cryptographers got their hands on the signal, they expected gibberish, random noise, the kind of cosmic static that fills the space between stars. But what they found was the opposite. The signal was structured, organized. It contained repeating sequences, mathematical patterns, binary strings that when visualized formed shapes, geometric forms, spirals that coiled inward on themselves, intersections that suggested dimensions we don't have names for. Some of the patterns resembled ancient symbols, glyphs found carved into stone by civilizations that died thousands of years before we even understood what stars were. How could something drifting in interstellar space produce symbols that match human history? Unless it had been here before. Unless it had been watching us longer than we've been watching the sky. Teams of linguists and AI specialists were brought in. They fed the signal into analysis programs designed to decode unknown languages, systems trained on everything from linear A to theoretical alien communication protocols. And the programs found matches, not perfect, but close enough to be terrifying. The signal's structure resembled intentional communication, the kind of layered information encoding you'd use if you wanted to send a message that could be understood by any intelligence capable of detecting it. Universal mathematics, prime numbers, ratios that appear in physics regardless of where in the universe you are. This wasn't noise, this was language. And it was trying to say something. But the real horror came when they cross-referenced the signal with older data, archives going back decades, because this wasn't the first time. Voyager 1, the twin probe that crossed into interstellar space years before Voyager 2, had transmitted similar anomalies. Brief distortions in its telemetry, patterns buried in the data that were dismissed at the time as equipment malfunction or cosmic interference. But when those old signals were reanalyzed with modern tools, with the context of what Voyager 2 was now transmitting, the patterns matched. Identical sequences, the same geometric forms, the same mathematical structure. Both probes, in the same region of space, decades apart, had encountered the same thing, and that thing had left the same signature, the same message, which meant this wasn't a random encounter. Whatever was out there wasn't surprised to find our probes. It was expecting them, waiting for them. And it had been there, lurking in the space beyond our sun's reach, for at least as long as we've been sending machines into the void. Maybe longer, maybe far longer. The object's trajectory didn't follow any natural laws. When the team mapped its movement, they couldn't replicate it using standard physics. It accelerated without thrust. It changed direction without visible propulsion. Every simulation they ran failed to match the object's actual path. It was as if the thing was bending space around itself, warping the fabric of reality just enough to stay hidden from our instruments while maintaining perfect tracking on Voyager. Some of the analysts, the ones who'd worked on classified aerospace projects, started using terms that made everyone uncomfortable. Alcubierre drives, space-time manipulation, technologies that exist only in theoretical papers and science fiction, technologies that no natural object should possess. Then the magnetic anomalies began. Voyager's magnetometer, one of the few instruments still functioning after all these years, started registering wild fluctuations. Rapid shifts in the electromagnetic field surrounding the probe. The kind of changes that suggest active manipulation. Not natural variation, not the slow drift of interstellar plasma. These were sharp, deliberate, as if something was reaching out and touching Voyager's field, testing it, probing it, trying to understand how our technology works. And with each pulse, with each fluctuation, the signal embedded in Voyager's transmission grew stronger, more complex, as if the more the object learned, the more it had to say. Back on Earth, things started happening that nobody wanted to talk about publicly. Radio observatories in different hemispheres began picking up echoes, faint transmissions that matched the frequency Voyager had detected. But these weren't coming from Voyager's position. They were coming from multiple locations, spread across the sky, as if the signal Voyager found was part of a network, a web of transmitters operating across vast regions of space, all pulsing in synchrony, all broadcasting the same message. And the timing of these echoes, the way they aligned with Voyager's own transmissions, suggested something impossible. Whatever was out there had found a way to communicate faster than light, to project its presence across distances that should take years for signals to cross. Analysts started calling it the Phantom Network, a distributed intelligence operating on scales we couldn't comprehend. And the more they studied it, the more terrifying the implications became. Because if this network exists, if it's been out there all along, then every signal we've ever sent into space, every radio broadcast, every transmission from every probe and satellite, all of it has been heard. All of it has been logged. We thought we were reaching out into silence, but we were shouting into a room full of listeners, and they've been taking notes. The timing question became impossible to ignore. Why now? Voyager has been in space for almost 50 years. It crossed into interstellar space years ago. So why is this signal appearing now? Why is the object revealing itself now? Some researchers believe it's because we've reached a threshold. Our technology has advanced to the point where we can decode what we're receiving. Quantum computing, artificial intelligence, pattern recognition systems that can find meaning in chaos. Maybe whatever's out there was waiting for us to get smart enough, waiting for us to develop the tools needed to understand what they've been trying to tell us all along. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe the response isn't about our technology. Maybe it's about our reach. Voyager has traveled farther than any human-made object in history. It's crossed boundaries we didn't know existed, entered regions of space that might be claimed, marked territories where we're not supposed to be. And by sending Voyager out there, by pushing into the dark without knowing what we'd find, maybe we triggered something, a protocol, a defense mechanism, a response from intelligences that have been here long before us and will be here long after we're gone. Governments started locking things down. Observatories went quiet. Data streams were classified. Media outlets stopped reporting on Voyager's mission. The official story became that the probe was failing, that its systems were degrading beyond repair, that the transmissions were becoming too weak to interpret. But people on the inside knew the truth. Voyager wasn't failing. It was being suppressed. Because what it was sending back, what it had discovered, was too dangerous to share, too destabilizing. The kind of information that, if released publicly, would shatter the comfortable illusion that we're the masters of our own cosmic neighborhood. Military assets were repositioned. Satellites that normally track terrestrial threats were aimed outward, directed at the region where Voyager detected the object. And what they found confirmed the worst fears. The object wasn't alone. There were others, smaller, faster, spread throughout the outer solar system, as if the large object tracking Voyager was just one node in a larger structure. A fleet, a network of watchers that's been monitoring us from the shadows. And now that we've noticed them, now that we've pushed far enough to see their presence, they're no longer hiding. The final piece of Voyager's transmission contains something that's kept analysts awake for weeks. A timestamp, not measured in human units, not seconds or hours, but in orbital cycles, planetary alignments, and according to the embedded data, something is scheduled, an event, a convergence, happening in approximately 8 months, tied to the positions of Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. A configuration that occurs only rarely, and whatever's out there, whatever's been watching us, it's waiting for that alignment, preparing for it. And Voyager's final transmission suggests that when that moment comes, when the planets align and the countdown reaches 0, we're going to find out why they've been watching and what they want. So now we're left with the truth Voyager confirmed, the truth we always feared but never wanted to face. We are not alone. We have never been alone. And the silence we thought surrounded us was never silence at all. It was patience. The patience of something ancient, something vast, something that's been waiting for us to reach just far enough, to push just deep enough, to finally notice it staring back. Voyager 2's final transmission wasn't a discovery. It was a confirmation, a proof of what we suspected but could never accept, that the universe is crowded, that intelligence is common, and that we, in our cosmic infancy, have finally caught the attention of something far older, far more powerful, and possibly far less friendly than we ever hoped. The probe is still out there, still drifting, still transmitting, but every signal it sends now carries that embedded message, that piggyback signal from something that found us before we found it. And as Voyager moves deeper into the void, as it crosses into regions we'll never reach, it carries with it not just our hopes and our messages to the stars, but a warning, a confirmation of what we feared, that we are observed, that we are known, and that whatever's out there, it's not waiting anymore. It's moving, and it's coming closer.